What is going on, guys? My name is Kevin. Today I wanted to bring you guys a review of a phone that I picked up a few months ago, and I am actually really impressed with it. There is a lot of features in this phone that you wouldn't even find in regular flagships, and it's a mid-tier smartphone, so let's take a look at it. This is my review of the LG Q Stylo Plus. Starting off, I want to go over some of the main features of the smartphone. The device has a rear fingerprint scanner, face unlock, micro SD card storage expansion slot, and of course that stylus. Let's go over that display. It's 6.2 inches and at 1080p, LG's panels are still beautiful. You gotta remember this is the same company that's brought us all these next level OLED panels, and I mean, if they're cutting corners on a phone like this, you know at least they're not gonna cheap out on the phone screen, and the panel is pretty damn good. The colors have good saturation, viewing angles are just fine, and really my only actual gripe with the screen is that the panel doesn't get extremely bright. It's also worth mentioning that the edges of the phone screen are curved, and thankfully there's no notch. Now before I start talking about battery life, speed of the phone, and the design and all those things, let's just talk about what comes in this box. Now in terms of accessories, what you find here is kind of bare bones. Instruction manuals, the SIM card ejector, no headphones, but luckily LG does provide you with a USB-C cable and a wall adapter that's capable of putting out a really decent high output. This is something that even Apple doesn't currently offer with their $1,000 iPhones, and personally I like this trade-off of not getting the crappy manufacturer earbuds and instead getting a relatively fast charger. Now with all of that out of the way, let's just talk about one of the main standout features of the Q Stylo Plus, which is, the stylus. It's really one of the only mid-tier smartphones to pull off this feature that well, and it puts it in a direct competing space with the Galaxy Note 9, a smartphone that is way more expensive than the Q Stylo Plus. Now, by no means would these phones come head-to-head in a performance test, but for the money, what you're getting is actually really good bang for your buck. I can run most of my favorite Android games on here just fine with medium to low settings, and lag isn't really an issue. Personally, I'm a lot more happy with the user interface of a launcher, similar to Nova Launcher, so I went ahead and installed that on this phone, and it got the phone feeling really snappy. Now just by looking at the front of the phone, you can easily be tricked into thinking that this has a flagship price tag. That design really is on par with much more expensive devices. LG has opted for a metal trim around the phone, but a plastic finish on the back, which unfortunately is prone to scratching, so I highly recommend picking up a phone case. Besides that, I don't have any complaints here about the design. The buttons on the side are nice and tactile, and on the bottom we have a USB-C charging port that supports OTG connection, the headphone jack, the stylus, and of course the speakers. Now the loudspeaker on this phone is nothing too exceptional. It does get a bit tinny at times, it gets muffled, and if you put your finger over this speaker at the bottom, well, it really just muffled up the entire sound. So I would recommend still going up with something like an external speaker. Here I have the UE Boom 3. It's actually my favorite speaker that I've tested in literally ages. So I'm going to be doing my full review on this very shortly. Stay tuned for that. But again, the speaker on this phone, nothing exceptional, but it gets the job done. Battery life on the Stylo Plus has been pretty much what I expected. 5 to 5.5 hours of screen on time, 6 hours if you really push it with low brightness, and cellular data periodically being turned off. The camera on this device is a 16 megapixel shooter, and the results are going to be good, but not great. Now what I mean by this is that it won't be competing with the iPhone or the Pixel 3 of course, but at this price range, it's good enough. If you're a Snapchat king or queen, this camera might not be what you want, it might be a bit underwhelming, but at the end of the day, this device isn't for everyone, so if you really prioritize your selfies, get a phone with a much better front camera like the Note 9 or the iPhone. You want to run the latest apps on your phone, play a game here or there occasionally, check emails and have the convenience of that stylus, hell, even snap the occasional cute pics of your pets, this phone's going to be great for you. And at this price range, it makes it a really good deal in my opinion. But that about wraps up my review of the LG Q Stylo Plus. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have any more questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I'm going to be answering all of your important questions and pretty much all your comments in general. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.